Hey everybody, it's Mr. Marklevitz here again to bring you another lecture video. Today we are continuing our unit on editing. We're talking about lesson 2, continuity editing and discontinuity editing. So let's jump right into it. Now with continuity editing, also referred to as invisible editing, you're trying to maintain a clear and continuous narrative action. Remember in the last lecture video, I talked about the epiphany that I had while watching Office Space as a teenager and realizing that what I was seeing wasn't a single setup shot with multiple cameras, but multiple setups shot with a single camera and then edited together to make it look like it was all happening in that moment. That is an example of continuity editing. You're not supposed to see the cuts. You're not supposed to see the edits. That's why this is referred to as invisible editing. Again, if the script supervisor and if the editor are doing their job properly, then there's just supposed to be this continuous narrative action. And continuity editing can be achieved by following all of the different guidelines that I have bulleted here on the board. So let's go through it. First, when you're filming a scene or a sequence, you should always start with an establishing shot. Now with an establishing shot, it's typically the first shot in a scene that sort of orients the audience to the setting. And once you have your establishing shot set, you can start to cut in or get your singles using the shot, reverse shot technique. Shot, reverse shot involves two characters in the same scene who are filmed separately using different camera angles. Another way to hide your edits or preserve continuity is to cut on the action or match the action. Let's say you have a character swinging a baseball bat and you start on a wide shot or a full shot and then you cut into a medium shot of them doing that same action. Well, you're going to want to make your cut while they're mid-swing. You don't want to cut from the wide to the medium before they swing, and you don't want to cut to your medium shot after they've already swung. You want to cut right in the middle of that swing because cutting on action or matching the action is going to hide that edit and help you preserve continuity. Another guideline to follow in order to preserve continuity is the 180-degree rule. Now with the 180-degree rule, let's say you're filming a scene with 2 or more characters engaged in some sort of dialogue. The first thing you're going to do is draw an imaginary line right down the middle of those characters. This is called the axis of action. And then you're going to commit all of your camera shots to only one side of that line. Notice that in this scene from Mean Girls, the camera always stays on the close side of the table, because if the camera were to jump to the far side of the table and get the reverse angle, it would break continuity and it would look weird to the audience. You can also have the 30-degree rule. The 30-degree rule states that if you're filming a subject and you want to cut to a new shot of that same subject, the camera has to move at least 30 degrees left or right of the initial setup in order to preserve the continuity. If you don't move that 30 degrees, you run the risk of jumping, which we're going to talk about when we get down to discontinuity editing. There's also an eye line match. Now with an eye line match, if you have a character who appears to be looking at something, the next shot in the sequence is probably the thing that they're looking at. And we're going to see several examples of that in this week's film, Psycho. You also have discontinuity editing, an editing style that breaks the continuous narrative of the action. This can be in the form of jump cuts. Now a jump cut is any time the camera cuts between shots with nearly identical composition and subject matter. These can be done on purpose, like we see in this example from Breathless, accidental, like in this example from the Royal Tenenbaums, or you can use jump cuts as a visual effect, like we see in this very early example from George Méliès. We see the actors on set, then Méliès would have everyone freeze, quickly adjust the set, start rolling again without moving the camera, and now it looks like that woman just disappeared. I don't know what the ASB students are doing next door, but it sounds like they're trying to vacuum, but every time they turn the vacuum on, they immediately shut it off, and it's annoying. And I'm dying to know what they're actually doing over there, but I'll never know. Put your comments down below. What do you think they're doing next door? Could be anything. Anyway, so getting back to Méliès, he was using jump cuts as magic tricks. We also have non-diegetic inserts. Now, last unit we talked about non-diegetic sounds, sounds that the audience could hear, but theoretically the characters in the film couldn't. Well, you can also have non-diegetic shots, shots that the audience can see, but the characters in the film wouldn't be able to. In the movie Fight Club, we see an example of a non-diegetic insert when the narrator's hand is burning and we cut to a definition of the words sear and flesh. Again, we can see those images, but he can't. So again, that's an example of a non-diegetic insert, and it's just sort of commenting on the action of the film. You can also have repeated shots where, the filmmaker might show you the same shot multiple times. In this example from Life of an American Fireman, we see the fireman carrying a woman and a small child out the window of this burning building. And then a minute later, we see the exact same action, except this time from the outside of the house, of the fireman carrying the woman and the small child out of the burning building. This is an example of where the editor could have cut on the action, but instead showed you the entire action from two different angles. It's probably a mistake, but nevertheless, it's a repeated image. And you can also have freeze frames, where just the film stops, right? Where the film pauses on a single frame. A very popular example would be the last shot of the film The 400 Blows, although there are certainly, examples in countless films. So there you go. Now, I understand that, this is just a lot of terminology and definitions, but it's important to note that, if you're a filmmaker and you're trying to tell a clear and continuous story, well, there are guidelines that you and the script supervisor and the editor need to follow that will help preserve that continuity. And if you're feeling a little rebellious and you want to, wow us with your discontinuity edits, try some jump cuts. Try some non-diegetic inserts, maybe a repeated shot or two, and always end on a freeze frame. But I'm actually not done yet. Your lab assignment for this week, guys, is to record a video with two characters passing an object back and forth. And the goal here is to preserve continuity. So you're going to start with a master shot that shows both characters and the object that they're passing back and forth. It doesn't matter what it is. And then you're going to cut in to at least two different single shots. A medium close-up of character A, a medium close-up of character B. And then you're going to edit these three shots together in order to maintain continuity. I don't want to see character A start with the ball, throw it to character B, and then cut into a shot where character A is holding the ball. That doesn't make sense. That's going to break continuity. I want to see character A start with the ball, throw it to character B, cut to character B now holding the ball, throwing it to A, and seeing that ball back and forth without any breaks in continuity. And your film for this week, we should probably be watching something from the French New Wave, but instead we're going to watch Psycho from the early 1960s. It's a Hitchcock film. It's probably Hitchcock's most famous film. But, I do recognize that this is a horror film, and even though, it's probably not as scary or as gory as some contemporary horror films, it still has the power to frighten some people. So do consider that when making your decision whether or not to watch this film or not. But there you go. Continuity editing, discontinuity editing. I hope you learned something, hopefully. If not, talk to me in class or email me, all right? That's all I have for you today, guys. Thanks for watching. I'll see you later. Bye.